Are you worried he's not sure about you? Maybe you're dating someone and you're kind of wondering what the vibe is here, where this is going, or maybe you're even married in a relationship and you're just not sure how your partner or your husband feels about you lately. This video is going to be for you. Hi everyone, Mireille Nicole here, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you 2 things that you can do if you feel like your man is unsure about you right now. This actually came up with a client recently, and we worked on something that gave her exactly the answer she needed to hear. So I wanted to share that with you in case it can be helpful in your own situation. So I was working with this woman who had started dating this guy for a little while, and it didn't seem to be going anywhere, and she wasn't getting, a good read of whether or not he was interested. She was not sure. And as we started working together, what I realized is there was a lot of kind of avoidance when it came to kind of finding out what the answer to that question was, right? So when I work with women, one of the services I offer is to do a content or a DM audit. So I kind of review the exchanges and I can pinpoint some of the things that are kind of going wrong, or some of the reasons why certain things aren't happening, right? Or why there are still certain questions that aren't being answered. And I could tell, even just from talking to this woman, that there was a lot of fear when it came to hearing what the real answer was, right? So sometimes when we're not sure, we kind of just keep things going the way they are in the hopes that eventually it'll be obvious how the other person feels in the relationship. Well, let me tell you, that is like a recipe to be dragged along in a relationship for a long time, and then things don't work out, and then you can feel like you've wasted like all these months or all these years in a relationship that went nowhere, with you being unsure about where you stood, where you stand with this person. So what I share with you today is a way to make sure that doesn't happen and to get very clear. So like I said, when I was reviewing the exchange with this woman and this guy she was dating, it was obvious that there were certain kind of assumptions that were being made, or, there wasn't always clear communication. So one of the things we started working on was how to ask the other person how he felt earlier on in the relationship, right? Because you want to be careful about how you do that. Obviously, you don't want to scare the other person off, but if you're unsure about where the person stands, it could be that you haven't found the perfect way to ask him. So when it comes to asking, I always recommend something very brief and direct, and you want to stay in your feminine energy. And when she did that, right away, the guy responded that he was very interested. So it was just a matter of really understanding how to ask this question in a way that wouldn't scare him away, obviously, but that would also get the question answered for her. And that way she could show up better in her relationship, because oftentimes what happens, if you're feeling unsure in the relationship, obviously it can have an impact on your confidence and how you show up. And obviously how you show up in your relationship is going to impact how the other person feels about you, or whether or not the other person thinks you guys are a good fit. Obviously it goes both ways, right? So once she had the answer, she had the option to show up differently in her relationship. Now, the other thing you want to do if you're feeling unsure in your relationship about how he feels about you is going to be to always make sure that you are fully in your feminine energy, that you are being your fun self, right? Your true self, because that's what's going to be magnetic to the other person. So the more that you can be in that state of really nurturing his masculine energy and you really relishing your feminine energy, the more you're going to build that strong dynamic of attraction between the two of you, because these polar opposites are what's going to create that magnetism that draws you guys together. So the more you understand about these concepts, the more that it will actually be clear for the both of you, right? If you guys are a good fit in the relationship. So just a quick recap. If you want to stop worrying about whether or not he's sure about you, make sure to address the situation clearly and directly. And obviously there's a very special way of doing this. And also at the same time, make sure that in the relationship, you're always nurturing your feminine energy, being your awesome self, which is what ultimately is going to draw this other person in and help that person be sure about you. And then once they're sure about you, you, it's going to be a lot more obvious how he's feeling, and you can continue showing up as your best self. And it puts you also in a position of power to decide if you want to be in that relationship too, right? It always goes both ways. I know I'm always talking about the perspective of the woman and also talking from the perspective of what it is that men desire and value. But at the end of the day, we're doing these things so that we as women can make the powerful decisions ourselves too. So if you have any questions or comments about what I shared, make sure to put them down below, or let's have a chat. There is an application link in my description that you can click on, and then we can have a quick chat to see what's your situation and what you need to do to move forward in your love life. All right, thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you guys in the next video.